Exclusive contracted novel by Feilu Novel Network. Adventure in the sky, writing a diary at the beginning, inviting the moon to maze. Suyu traveled through the world of martial arts and became the richest son of Suzhou, just as the great Sui dynasty was about to collapse. The imperial court stands tall, and the power of the sect is overwhelming. De Sui, De Song, De Qin, Meng Yuan, De Ming. 5 major imperial dynasties stand in power, suppressing one side. Zhang Sanfeng fought fiercely against the Eastern Emperor Tai, shaking the world. There are 33 provinces in the world, 100,000 sects, and waves of beacon smoke. The world will be dominated, with 3 parts returning to the original state and shaking the world. The Supreme Master ordered the East to come, shattering the void and drifting away. There are strong enemies outside who are watching over the family property, while there are domestic slaves inside who are watching closely. Fortunately, Suyu received the diary and awakened his natural talent for understanding and defying the heavens, attracting countless witches, and fairies to come around. Invitation Month. Suyu, I'm like this now. Why don't you increase my favorability? Zhu Yuyan, inviting the moon, don't compete with me. Master, can you give me Suyu? Martial arts are unparalleled, wealth can connect with the gods. Feilu Novel Network reminds you that this novel and its characters are purely fictional. If there are any similarities, they are purely coincidental and should not be imitated. Chapter 1. The First Blood Knife, Liancheng Treasure, Diary. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Jiangzhou City. Within the city. Suyuan. Here, pavilions and towers, rockeries and strange stones are connected in a vast area, making it the location of Suzhou's richest man, the Su family. The lights in the park were brightly lit, and it wasn't a little maid in green clothes walking around holding a lantern. On the outer side, there were also many guards holding long swords who scanned the surroundings with wary eyes, seemingly on guard. In the center of Su Garden, in an attic. The table, desk, and candlelight were brightly lit, and a young man in white was lying on his desk, writing furiously. Beside her, a beautiful little maid was already lying on a chair, snoring soundly. I don't know how long it took, but the young man in white slowly got up and wiped the sweat off his forehead. Pushing open the window, the bright moon hangs high outside, and the stars are shining brightly. Today's account is finally settled. Suyu stretched lazily and let out a long sigh of relief. He looked at the stars in the sky, and the bright moonlight fell into the room, making Suyu feel a hint of coolness. I didn't expect that. It has been 16 years since I traveled to this world, but fortunately, it's not bad to travel to this world of comprehensive martial arts. In a wealthy and prosperous family, I have lived a lifetime of glory. Unfortunately, the trees want to be quiet but the wind doesn't stop. Although there's nothing wrong tonight, it's hard to guarantee that something won't happen tomorrow night. Suyu looked out the window at the night, his mind lingering. He traveled to this world for 16 years and became the young master of the Su family. After his parents passed away, he took control of the Su family alone. The Su family is a wealthy businessman from Jiangzhou, with a wealth of thousands. Their industries include pawn shops, restaurants, banks, and pharmacies. Originally a good start, but now someone has set their sights on him. After all, in this world of martial arts is the highest priority, and martial strength is the existence that can dominate everything. Suyu's family has abundant wealth, but his martial arts skills are average. In the eyes of those who have intentions, he is just a piece of fat. Recently, the Southwest Evil Sect's Blood Sword sect suddenly broke into the vicinity of Jiangzhou, reportedly attempting to seize the Lianxing technique. I don't know if I can grab the Lianxing Jew, but many wealthy merchants have suffered. The Blood Knife Gate rampages forward, killing wealthy merchants at night, taking away money, and raping female relatives, leaving the entire Jiangzhou city in a bloody scene. But the officials followed behind and ate the dust all the way, not even finding a personal figure. The Su family is also a famous wealthy businessman in Jiangzhou. Although their parents have both died now, there are still more than 20 maids in the mansion. Su Yu feels that he is in a very dangerous situation now. However, he has traveled through these years, and although he has also spent money on supplements and hiring famous teachers, he definitely cannot compare with those evil sect masters who have been practicing for decades. What's even more frustrating is that the world here is more than 10 times larger than the previous blue star. Many world lines are chaotic, and there are traps and mechanisms in secret places, which are very dangerous. Su Yu originally wanted to develop and seek opportunities, but unexpectedly, the Blood Knife sect killed in Jiangzhou. The Blood Sword sect is in Jiangzhou, so the treasure of the Liancheng technique is also in Jiangzhou. Su Yu's eyes suddenly lit up. Suddenly, he glanced and noticed that there was an extra white diary on the desk at some point. The diary is as white as jade, emitting a sparkling white light and looking very extraordinary. I don't remember, there's this diary. Su Yu blinked and looked at the white diary with some suspicion. He looked at it for a moment, then reached out and picked up the white diary. Congratulations to the owner for obtaining the diary. The diary has been bound to the owner and renamed as Su Yu's diary. It will not be lost or destroyed. As long as you persist in writing your diary every day, you can receive various rewards. Su Yu just came into contact with the white diary, and the mechanical sound of the system rang out in his mind. As long as you record every day, you can get various rewards. Upon hearing the voice in her mind, Su Yu was stunned for a moment. She instinctively clenched her diary in her hand and patted her cheek. The diary is still in his hands. It's not a dream. Record a diary every day and you will receive various rewards. His breathing suddenly became rapid, and there was an indescribable joy in his eyes. At this moment, Su Yu also discovered that there was still a pen inside the diary. He immediately picked up the pen in his hand and wrote vigorously. At the same time, many women around the world also have a magical blue diary around them. Embroidered Jade Valley, Moving Flower Palace. Waves of cold breath emanated from her body, surging back and forth in the hall. A stunning beauty dressed in goose yellow palace attire, with sparkling dots on her clothes, resembling tears from the sky, looked at her blue diary with suspicion in her hand. It is now the Grand Master of the Moving Flower Palace who invites the moon. Just now she was practicing her martial arts when she suddenly noticed a blue jade book appearing out of thin air on the originally empty desk. It seems like it's a book. At that time, Inviting Moon felt a chill on her spine, thinking that someone had sneaked in while she was practicing and placed the book in front of her. She is a great master of martial arts. Surprisingly, someone could sneak under her nose and cause trouble without her noticing. She looked around cautiously, but found nothing, and in the end, her gaze fell back on the blue sun. P.S. Seeking Data. Chapter 2. The General Situation of the World, the Curiosity of Inviting the Moon. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Finally, he jumped up from the bed and walked with his long legs to the desk, reaching out to pick up the blue book. When the hand of Inviting the Moon touched the blue diary, a mechanical sound suddenly rang in my mind. Congratulations to the host for obtaining the copy of Su Yu's diary, exclusive to Inviting the Moon. Every time Su Yu records a diary and mentions the corresponding host, he will also receive a reward. The quality of the reward is linked to the host's favorability towards the diary owner Su Yu. The higher the favorability, the richer the reward. The diary has been bound to the host and will not be lost or damaged. The owner of the diary cannot attack each other. Rao Yue's mind remained calm, and at this moment, she heard a flood of information rushing in. She couldn't help but take a few breaths before fully digesting it. Who is Su Yu? Why is his favorability linked to my reward? Also, the owners of the diary cannot attack each other. Does this mean that I am not the only one who owns this diary? Inviting You furrowed her brow slightly, thinking a lot. She raised her hand and wanted to throw away the diary. A mere diary, how could she take it seriously? Who is Su Yu? She doesn't want to meet. Inviting the moon, she exerted tremendous force and landed on the blue diary. However, a faint light bloomed on the blue diary, completely blocking her power. With this blow, I can crush 10,000 pounds of boulders, but I can't break this diary. Inviting Moon's pupils shrank, her expression somewhat solemn. At this moment, a line of handwriting in the blue diary suddenly appeared. Resurrected from reincarnation, I have been in this world for 16 years. The world of martial arts is truly coveted. Borrowing the 3-foot bright moon, holding 2 sleeves of green dragons, wielding light swords and fast horses, one can indulge freely. It was my dream before, but now it has come true. The unpredictability of life's circumstances is truly touching. Fortunately, over the past 16 years, I have spoken out in a wealthy family, living a luxurious life and knowing some of the situation in this world. In this world, martial arts are paramount, and force can push everything horizontally. Among them, the martial arts realm, from low to high, is in order. Quenching body, acquired, innate, martial arts master, martial arts master, martial arts sage, martial arts true immortal, and the supreme shattered void. Among them, there are 3 levels. Quenching body, acquired, innate, and the first 3 levels. Each level is further divided from low to high, into 1 to 9 levels, and 9 levels of small levels. Quenching the body is to temper the body, externally refine muscles, bones, and skin, and internally refine essence, qi, and spirit, laying a solid foundation for martial arts. Each step is very meticulous and requires a lot of effort and money. I have been neglecting martial arts practice for these years, and I have only quenched my body into 5 levels. Although I am more powerful than ordinary people, I cannot compete with experts. This martial arts world has a geographical area about 10 times that of Blue Star. The world is divided into 30.3 states and overseas islands. In today's world, with the smoke of war billowing, in this era of great struggle, many imperial dynasties stand tall, and the power of sex is overwhelming. The Great Qin, Great Sui, Great Song, Mongolian Yuan, Great Ming, and the 5 great imperial dynasties stand together in the world. These imperial dynasties in the martial arts world have vast territories, and it is said that there are powerful martial arts immortals sitting in their seats, as well as powerful divine weapons and artifacts, which are awe-inspiring. The Great Sui dynasty occupied 8 continents, including Yuzhou, Yanzhou, Jizhou, Qingzhou, Dongzhou, Bingzhou, Bazhou, and Jiangzhou. Daming is located in the land of 7 continents, including Nanzhou, Suzhou, Jingzhou, Haizhou, Huaizhou, Jingzhou, and Yangzhou. The Great Qin dynasty was the strongest in many imperial dynasties. Although it only occupied 6 states, namely Qinzhou, Hanzhou, Xianzhou, Shizhou, Guazhou, Longzhou, and Shanzhou, each state had the largest population in area compared to the other states. The Great Song dynasty surrounded Xiangzhou, Bianzhou, and Linzhou, ranking last among many imperial dynasties. Mengyuan is occupied by Yunzhou, Mengzhou, Yuanzhou, Fengzhou, Chongzhou, and Liaozhou outside the Great Wall, with millions of iron cavalry under its command, like wolves and tigers, engulfing mountains and rivers. There are many small countries to the south, such as Dali occupying Jiangzhou. Western Xia occupied Xiazhou. Tubo occupied Fanzhou. There are also many islands overseas. 33 states in the world. Each state has a vast territory, equivalent to the area of 3 or 4 provinces of Blue Star, with a population of tens of millions. However, in these states, various forces are also entrenched, with many martial arts forces stationed, and even some states are dominated by sectarian forces. Among them, there are great martial arts masters stationed, with one person's power capable of defeating tens of thousands of troops. Many top sects are also entrenched in the territory of a state, and even these top imperial dynasties can only cooperate with them. For example, the world will be dominated by the powerful Ming dynasty, the world will be dominated by the once dominant Shaoxiong, and their influence will spread throughout the 7 states of the Ming dynasty, with a faint change in popularity compared to the Shaolin sect. There is also Zhang Sanfeng, the leader of Wudang sect, who is righteous and is listed as a martial arts myth alongside Shaolin Temple Bodhisattva. He is the second generation of Wudang 7 heroes, the third generation of Yun Feiyang, and Song Qingshu, all of whom are well known. Wudang sect's influence occupies Huaizhou and radiates throughout the martial arts world. Not to mention the Shaolin sect, since the establishment of the first master of Buddhism, the Golden Bodhisattva, 3,000 years ago, it has claimed that the world's martial arts come from Shaolin and its strength is immeasurable. Even the Ming royal family must yield 3 points in the Demon Gate. The Yin Gui sect and the Demon Master Palace also occupy the territory of Yizhou. There is also the Snow Moon City, without any twin cities, the city of Emperor Wu, independent of good and evil. The city is towering, with a cloud of experts and unparalleled strongmen sitting in it. Its strength is not inferior to that of top sections. There are also many other powers, equally unfathomable, such as the Green Dragon Society and other forces, but these are all old bangs, and even the most influential people still look to the present day. In addition to these martial arts myths, there are also many extraordinary women who are famous all over the world. Seeing this, the invitation moon lit up in front of me. The owner of this diary mentioned many famous and extraordinary women, and she immediately thought of herself. Will he mention me? Inviting the moon to watch with curiosity. The handwriting in the diary keeps appearing. From ancient times to the present, there have been countless women who are unparalleled in their beauty and pride. In an era they may be incredibly beautiful and unparalleled in appearance, captivating the country in the city, or the national beauty in heavenly fragrance, making countless heroes bow down. P.S. Seeking data. Chapter 3. Inviting the moon. Shocked, I surprisingly killed Lianxing. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. There are too many women in this world with unparalleled looks, each with their own charm. I also want to express my feelings here, that is, these people, I like them all. For example, there is a person who comes from the top martial arts forces, is from the Moving Flower Palace, has a stunning appearance, graceful demeanor, and is full of Mingyu Gong, who is extraordinary. You have some taste. The corner of the invitation moon's lips slightly curled up, revealing a smile. She is the Palace of Moving Flowers. Lianxing, Lianxing. Inviting moon's beautiful eyes widened and her breathing stopped. Not bad, it's Lianxing. She has a calm personality, a stunning appearance, excellent martial arts skills, and is no less talented than Inviting the Moon. However, her competitiveness is not as strong, but her problem-solving skills are far more careful than her sister's Inviting the Moon. The world only knows that Inviting the Moon is a mortal body, comparable to gods and demons, but she does not know that Lianxing's talent are below Inviting the Moon. In another palace several hundred feet away from the residence of the Inviting Moon. Lianxing looked at the handwriting constantly appearing on the diary copy in her hand, and her beautiful eyes were full of brilliance. Is his evaluation of me so high? Lianxing was both surprised and delighted in her heart. Over the years, her popularity has been overshadowed by her sister. Although Lianxing doesn't have much competitiveness, which strong person hopes to be overshadowed by others? She doesn't argue but doesn't care, it's just that she cares more about her sister than fame. You must not be found by your sister. Lianxing was overjoyed and prayed for Su Yu in her heart. If invited to find Su Yu, Lianxing wouldn't even dare to think about what would happen. If the invitation moon is timeless and can freeze all icebergs, then Lianxing is like spring sunshine, a pool of spring water that makes people both physically and mentally soft. Lianxing is so good, even better than me. The more I look at it, the more sour my heart becomes. However, it cannot be said that Inviting the Moon is not as good as Pitying the Stars. The two are just different in personality and temperament. In fact, when it comes to talent, temperament, and willpower, Inviting the Moon can be considered the most extraordinary woman in the world. The flower-moving palace was originally just a small sect in Jiangzhou. Although the sect had martial arts skills, Mingyu skills, and the unique skill of flower-moving and jade receiving, it could not compete with the top major sections. Only by inviting the moon to emerge from the sky and practicing the Mingyu skill to the 8th level, with unparalleled talent, can we sweep away all enemies, expand the power of the flower-moving palace to the entire Jiangzhou, and become famous all over the world. This person actually understands me so well. In the flower-moving palace, inviting moon saw the handwriting on it, her sour heart slightly sweet. Everyone knows that she is the head of the Yihua Palace, with unparalleled martial arts skills and stunning appearance. Who would have known that she was entrusted by the old palace head to support the hardships of the Yihua Palace alone? However, inviting moon is cold and proud, but her heart is very sickly and her belly is black. She has an extreme personality. Even her biological sister Liancheng, if she goes against her will and makes her unhappy, she will also suffer from her cruel hands. Her left foot has been disabled by falling, which is truly pitiful and regrettable. Seeing this, inviting the moon, Liancheng's pretty face turned white at the same time, and an incredulous shock flashed in her eyes. How could this be? No one knows about this matter. How did he know? Inviting you couldn't help but take a cold breath. This matter is a pain in her heart that she has never mentioned to anyone. How did this mysterious Suyu know? In other places, the woman who received the diary couldn't help but frown when she saw what Suyu had recorded, as if she was lamenting the extreme nature of inviting the moon. To avoid inviting the moon to harm others in the future, I will force myself to work hard and take her away. She's already in her 20s, much older than me, but it's not a big problem either. The wine is mellow and the aged cured meat is also quite delicious. Boom. The table in front of inviting moon was instantly shattered by a huge force. She clenched her fists, her starry eyes spewing fire, wishing she could tear up the copy of her diary that belonged to her. Who the hell is Suyu? I'm going to shatter your body into pieces. Before, she thought Suyu understood him and felt a little moved in her heart. Now I just want to find Suyu and tear him apart. She lives hundreds of feet away from the palace. Star Palace. That is Lianxing's dormitory. At this moment, the beautiful and serene second palace master's gaze turned towards the distant inviting moon dormitory, gently caressing the diary of Suyu, which belonged exclusively to him. It was a pitiful version. Such a big commotion, it seems that sister also has this kind of diary in her hand. Lianxing's heart flashed with a hint of enlightenment. Then he burst out laughing with a puff. Even my sister dares to tease me, so brave. I have a good view of you. She secretly gave Suyu a thumbs up in her heart. That's her sister. She knows better than anyone how terrifying it is. Now that Suyu can break through her sister's defense, she, as a younger sister, is happier than anyone else. However, inviting moon is ferocious and sickly, with a black belly. I'm afraid my current martial arts skills cannot suppress him. I must practice martial arts hard and completely defeat her, letting her know who the boss is. Practice hard and completely overwhelm me. What a big courage. Inviting moon powder clenched her fists tightly, her starry eyes spewing fire. Ha ha ha, it's so fun. Lianxing kicked and flipped over in bed without any image. Inviting the moon is getting harder and harder. Just now I was thinking about her, but now in the blink of an eye, I'm praising her sister again. She decided to find Suyu and hammer this fickle bastard to death. Inviting the moon, Lianxing, the two of them are in charge of the moving flower palace together. One is as cold as an iceberg, and the other is tranquil and gentle, perfect for being my wife. In fact, I do this for the sake of their good and to avoid their sisters from killing each other. After all, if I don't do it, Lianxing will die in the hands of inviting the moon. Lianxing is afraid to die, and I can't believe that her sister will kill her. Also, at that time, inviting moon was also regretful for life. I asked Lianxing why she didn't hide. From now on, sisters Yin and Yang will end, and there will be no day to meet again. Sad and lamentable, making people feel pity. What, will Lianxing die in my hands in the future? Inviting you lowered her hand and the blue diary slipped directly to the ground. At this moment, there was no anger in her heart, only shock and disbelief. How could her sister die in her own hands? What the hell is going on here? Inviting the moon, her pupils widened, her beautiful eyes lifeless, staring blankly at the roof. At this moment, she wished she could fly to Su Yu's side immediately, pick him up, and ask him to understand. And Lianxing was not much better, and was also frightened by Su Yu's words. What, I was actually killed by my sister in the end. Lianxing took a cold breath. P.S. Seeking flowers, evaluation tickets. Chapter 4. Mysterious Su Yu, Huang Rong's fear. You are listening at Novel Full. Audio. Muttering my sister and ultimately killing her. How could there be such a wicked sister in the world? Can it be that the owner of the diary is making things mysterious? At this moment, many women from all over the world were staring intently at the copy of Su Yu's diary that belonged exclusively to them. In fact, besides inviting the moon and Lianxing, there are also many other women who are not inferior to them. If you ask me who I want to choose, as an adult, I naturally want all of them. This guy is too fickle and lascivious. Many women couldn't help but want to spit at Su Yu. At the same time, I became increasingly curious and wanted to see Su Yu. Who else would I write about next? Peach Blossom Island. A beautiful and quirky woman sat on a beach reef, letting the wind and waves beat against it, with mist swirling around her. She still stared intently at the blue diary that belonged exclusively to her. Can he be on par with inviting Moon and Lianxing? I don't know who will be there. Will there be me in his heart? Peach Blossom Island, beautiful Huang Rong, one of the 5 wonders of the Song dynasty, the daughter of Dongxia, with an ancient spirit and mischievous appearance. Rong is beautiful and kind-hearted, with an ancient spirit and mischievous spirit. She is also intelligent in ice and snow. Although her martial arts are not as good as those of inviting the moon and Lianxing, and what's even more precious is that she has excellent cooking skills. On the bright moon night of the 24 bridges, where does the jade man teach to play the flute? If I could obtain Huang Rong, what would I ask for? Ronger, hello, stay on Peach Blossom Island. When I make a name for myself, I'll go propose a marriage. Marry Huang Rong and cook for me every day. Just thinking about it makes me happy. Coincidentally, my family is still short of a good cook. Proposal, this person has such thick skin. He wants both me and someone else. Huang Rong blushed shyly. She is still young and doesn't want to get married. However, Su Yu's next words directly made her pretty face turn white. With me around, you will never encounter future tragedies. Your life is no longer a tragic ending. You, the future, will never die in the midst of thousands of armies and sacrifice yourself for your country. I will die in the midst of thousands of armies and sacrifice myself for the country. Huang Rong opened and closed her small mouth, her pretty face turning pale, and tears glistening from the corners of her eyes. How could her life come to such a tragic end? How could this be? Why is this happening? Is what he said true or false? Huang Rongting stood up. She wished she could immediately find the mysterious Su Yu and ask for clarification. However, Su Yu's next move was a change in tone. Forget it, let's finish here today. I'm tired, young master. The rest will continue tomorrow. That's it. At this moment, not only inviting the moon, Lianxing, Huang Rong, but also many women in other places with shocked faces, still unsatisfied. They were just watching it rise, but it ended up being gone. Su Yu, who awakened from reincarnation, looks very extraordinary, as if he can know the past and future. This person is so magical. Who the hell is he and where is he now? Many women slowly closed their diaries, their hearts full of thoughts. Especially for inviting Moon, Lianxing, and Huang Rong, they wished they could immediately find Su Yu and ask him a question. Inviting the moon, favorite rating of 9 points, intimacy score of 6, reward the host with pure internal power for 3 years. Inviting Yu's pupils twitched as she looked at the handwriting that appeared at the end of her diary. 3 years of pure internal power. Before Inviting Moon could react, an incredibly pure internal force had already poured into her body. Boom! Inviting the moon, her whole body roared with true energy, and her breath was much stronger than before. My strength was originally in the early stage of being a great martial arts master, but now I have taken it even further, showing signs of moving towards the middle stage. Inviting Moon realized the power of ups and downs in her body, and her heart stirred up a storm. If I find him and increase his intimacy and favorability, wouldn't I be able to get more rewards? A terrifying thought suddenly came to Xuanyue's heart. Who is Su Yu? Of course, her mascot. Inviting Yu wants to find Su Yu and get to know him well. There's no way, Su Yu has given too much. Later, Inviting Moon looked at the Star Palace where Lianxing lived in the distance with some suspicion. She mentioned her sister in her diary. Is it difficult? My sister also has a copy of the diary in her hand. Thinking of this, Inviting the Moon couldn't sit still. Go directly to Lianxing's place. Star Palace. Lianxing looked at her own rating in front of her. Lianxing favorite rating of 9 points. Intimacy score is 8 points. Reward the host with 5 years of pure internal power. A pure internal force injected into Lianxing's body directly increased her strength by a fraction. Lianxing's martial arts skills have even reached the peak of a martial arts master, only half a step away from entering the realm of a great martial arts master. Originally, her strength was inferior to that of Inviting the Moon, but now she has gained 2 more years of pure internal strength, which has narrowed the gap between her and Inviting the Moon. I'm afraid I'm not the only one who owns this diary, maybe my sister also has one. Lianxing Bingxue was clever and immediately guessed the clues. Then she picked up the blue diary, quietly hid it, sat cross-legged as if nothing had happened, and made the appearance of practicing martial arts. Outside the palace gate, Inviting the Moon arrived gracefully and barged in directly. Sister, why did you come? Lianxing looked calmly at the incoming Invitation Moon. It's nothing, I just want to come and see you. Inviting Yu looked around calmly. Then Dai frowned slightly. She didn't notice any problems, but it made her feel even more uncomfortable. Sister, what's up with you? Lianxing stared at the Invitation Moon, probing the question. It's okay. Inviting Yu shook her head and then without any warning, she lightly slapped Lianxing. In the next moment, Lianxing was surrounded by a blue light curtain, blocking the palm. Bang! Inviting the Moon's palm didn't have much power at first, it was directly blocked and resolved by the blue light curtain. She remained motionless, just looking at Lianxing with a funny expression on her face. So, did you also see what Su Yu said earlier? Lianxing lowered her head. PS seeks data and evaluates tickets. Chapter 5. Breaking through 10 levels in a row, achieving 5 levels the day after tomorrow, and maintaining one's body. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Lianxing, you are my younger sister, how could I take action against you? That Su Yu's nonsense is unbelievable. As Xianyu spoke, a plain white palm reached out, wanting to put it on Lianxing's shoulder. However, Lianxing dodged and avoided Xianyu's palm. Sister, speak well and don't tamper with me. I also have a diary, but your tricks don't work. Lianxing shook her diary as if inviting the moon. It's obvious that she doesn't trust Invitation Moon at all now. Lianxing, you are really stunned. You believe in Su Yu, not your sister. Inviting Yuyan Fong bit her teeth and stomped her foot fiercely. Lianxing is like a frightened little rabbit, unaffected by the invitation to the moon at all. Lianxing, I am your sister. How could I kill you? There must be a misunderstanding here. Wait, my sister has summoned Su Yu and asked in front of you to understand. Inviting Yu, Su clenched her hands and shouted in a deep voice. Lianxing nodded repeatedly, still vigilant as she watched the invitation moon. Peach Blossom Island. Huang Rong also looked at her own rating in the diary. Huang Rong. Favorite rating 10, Intimacy 9, reward the host with 6 years of pure internal power. The sound of the system fell, and Huang Rong's strength instantly reached the innate realm. Her body's breath was astonishing as it surged on the shore. It took Huang Rong half an hour to completely digest these internal forces. At the same time, he also accepted the fact that he owned Su Yu's diary and dungeon. My reward is related to Su Yu's favorability towards me. No wonder it's so generous, and he said my future is a tragedy. I need to ask what's going on. At this moment, Huang Rong's heart was both surprised and happy, and her curiosity for Su Yu reached another peak. She also wants to meet Su Yu. Ask clearly, what kind of tragedy is her future? This is over yet, haven't you enjoyed watching it yet? And other women who received the diary, seeing Su Yu's diary come to an end, had both disappointment and surprise in their eyes. Yuyan. Su Yu finished writing his diary and slowly closed it. Master successfully completes today's record, rewards Master, pure internal power for 1 year, natural talent, and extraordinary intelligence. Reward your natural talent for understanding and refining your internal power for 1 year. A mechanical sound echoed in Su Yu's mind. In an instant, a chill poured down from his head and poured into his limbs. Bang! 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 Su Yu felt like he was soaking in a hot spring, his body being blocked by a warm and cool breath, and a faint sound kept coming out. In his pores, various black and gray impurities overflowed, and his entire breath became vigorous and intense. Quenched body 6 times. Quenched body 7 times. Quenched body 8-fold. Quenched body 9 times. 1 day after tomorrow. Twice the day after tomorrow. 3 times the day after tomorrow. 4 times the day after tomorrow. 5 times the day after tomorrow. His strength, in just a few breaths, crossed 10 small realms in a row, reaching a level of 5 the day after tomorrow before stopping. My strength has reached 5 levels the day after tomorrow. Let's not talk about this realm for now. If the breakthrough speed is spread out, it is enough to shake the entire Jiangzhou. Su Yu raised his hand and shook his eyes filled with joy. He comes from a wealthy background, although he does not have the guidance of a famous teacher, he has also reached the 5th level of quenching body, and is more powerful than ordinary young soldiers. Now it has directly broken through to the acquired realm, surpassing ordinary elite miscellaneous fish. At this level, one can practice mastering fist and foot movements and unleash their full strength through them. As for going further up to the innate realm, it's impossible. Cultivate true qi inside the body, which can be released externally and transformed into fists, feet, fingers, and palms, killing invisibly. In some cases, it can also transform into swords and weapons, with strength comparable to ordinary weapons. This kind of existence is outstanding in any sect. As for the higher martial arts masters, great martial arts masters, martial arts immortals, and the realm of breaking the void, they are different. It is divided into early stage, middle stage, late stage, and peak stage. And among them, there are more mysteries that Su Yu can't know now. Among them, quenching the body means refining the body, laying a solid foundation for practicing martial arts. Previously, Su Yu was known as Quenched Body 5. His strength, speed, and moves exceeded those of ordinary people by a lot, and his strength value was already very strong in the eyes of ordinary people. Now break through to the acquired realm in 1 breath. Su Yu's strength has not only skyrocketed 10-fold. He felt the amazing power in his body and jumped directly to the attic, grabbing a huge stone weighing 1,000 pounds and easily lifting it up. If Su Yu had used all his strength to suckle before, he wouldn't have been able to move a single penny. But now. But he can easily lift 1,000-pound boulder. This is the power of the 5 heavens the day after tomorrow. Su Yu put down the giant stone in his hand and nodded in satisfaction. Although the Blood Knife sect is powerful, it is not the Blood Knife ancestor who committed crimes in Jiangzhou. He is not afraid of ordinary disciples. Immediately, he carefully realized his natural talent for understanding and defying the heavens. Your intelligence is beyond imagination. Observing all things in heaven and earth, stars, sun and moon, or other martial arts, you can comprehend unparalleled divine skills, so, I can learn from heaven and earth and comprehend the supreme skill. Su Yu's eyes suddenly lit up. Martial arts in the world are all created by humans. Others can create unique martial arts skills, why can't they? Moreover, other people create martial arts masterpieces that require countless trials and decades of hard work. Now he has a year of internal strength in his body, coupled with his natural talent for understanding the heavens. He has confidence in dealing with the impending crisis. The moonlight and stars tonight are so beautiful. Su Yu looked up at the sky, gazing at the brilliant moonlight and starlight, with deep and charming eyes. The silver starlight from the sky fell on him, as if covering him with a layer of silver divine clothing. The subtle coolness was refreshing to the heart and soul, and Su Yu was bathed in starlight all over, feeling the clarity of the spiritual platform and indescribable comfort in his body. Gradually, a hint of enlightenment appeared in his eyes. Using oneself as a guide, guard this galaxy. PS seeks data to obtain evaluation tickets. Chapter 6. Understanding the Great Star Technique and Breaking Through Again. You are listening at Novel Full. Audio. You observe the arrangement of stars, echo your own acupoints, understand the movement of stars, and the highest and most profound principles of star-light biochemistry, creating the Great Star Technique. This technique is one of the 3,000 great paths, connecting the origin of heaven and earth. In an instant, countless mysterious reasons, various complex illustrations, poured into Su Yu's mind like a river pouring down, blending with his entire spirit. This supreme and mystical art, one of the 3,000 great roads, was completely mastered by Su Yu in an instant. The Great Star Technique, with its own acupoints corresponding to the stars in the sky, echoes each other, utilizes the power of the stars, enhances one's own strength either against enemies, or trains oneself. Su Yu immediately understood the terror of the Great Star Technique. The meaning of this 3,000 avenues at this moment, he had 7 acupoints inside his body, shining with twinkling stars, arranged in a pattern of the Big Dipper. He lifted his hand and directly displayed a set of extremely mysterious boxing techniques in the courtyard. Yuanchen Xingguang Fist. Top-level immortal martial arts. Each move and form contains magnificent starlight power, which can both kill enemies and harden the body. With every punch from Su Yu, the air burst out, and the domineering fist style surged, rolling leaves and making a clattering sound. More strands of starlight fell on Su Yu's body, entering his body through his pores. Boom! 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 Su Yu's body's qi and blood merged with starlight, emitting a huge roar. In the attic, there were almost all the women living in Suyuan who were startled. They rubbed their sleepy eyes, opened the window, and immediately saw Su Yu bathing in silver starlight in the courtyard. Is that young master? The maids saw the scene in front of them and were instantly aroused, completely devoid of sleep. At this moment, Su Yu unleashed his martial arts skills, his fist style surging like a small vortex. In the sky, there were even strands of starlight constantly converging, merging into Su Yu's body. In the end, Su Yu's body was shining with silver and starlight. He felt as if he was in a furnace, with his blood and energy boiling and constantly growing, and his martial arts moving faster and faster. In the end, Su Yu's body's qi and blood circulation reached its peak. Bang! His strength has once again reached a new level, reaching the 6th level the day after tomorrow. I can still become stronger. Su Yu didn't stop, his fist prints flipped and his punches were like thunder, his speed was as fast as flowing light. In the end, from all directions, there were fist shadows resembling flowing light. Click. 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 A series of noises were heard, and more than 10 trees with the thickness of bowls in the park were broken by the fist wind, rolled up in mid-air, and then shattered with a loud bang. 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 Su Yu's internal qi and blood grew stronger, and his breath surged again, reaching the 9th level of the day after tomorrow. Finally reaching the level that was about to break through the innate realm, he paused. He slowly finished work, stood on the spot, closed his eyes, and realized the boiling power in his body. In front of him, a semi-transparent property panel that can only be seen clearly by oneself appears. Master, Su Yu. Age: 16. Identity: the owner of the Su family business. Martial arts: beginner level star art, 500/1000, divine level top level strong method. Martial arts realm: 9 heavens after tomorrow. Overnight, I broke through 2 major realms and reached the 9th level the day after tomorrow. Only 1 step away, I can enter the innate realm. Su Yu clenched his fists and slowly exhaled a breath. He opened his eyes, and his gaze emitted a silver-cold electricity. Now, I finally have the strength to protect myself. Whoever wants to harm me and seize my property, just let your horse come over. Su Yu clenched his fist, feeling infinite confidence in his heart. In this martial arts world, martial arts are revered. His current strength is that unless the Blood Blade ancestor comes personally, he is confident that other disciples of the Blood Blade sect will come and kill them one by one. Even Su Yu planned to take advantage of the situation and eat the Blood Sword sect instead. With strength in her body, Su Yu's heart rose with infinite confidence and a great sense of security. He felt relieved in his heart. I suddenly feel something is wrong. He looked up and scanned the surroundings, seeing more than a dozen small heads sticking out from the attic of rooms in all directions, all staring at him greedily. That is the maid in Su Yu's mansion. What did you see? Su Yu hugged his shoulders with both hands and said with an air. Young master, your boxing skills were so impressive just now. Previously, we also saw Li Yuyan and his companions practicing martial arts, tossing back and forth with a stone pillar, far less powerful than the young master. Many maids exclaimed in amazement. In their eyes, although their young master also knows martial arts, he is not very powerful. But now Su Yulu's fist technique makes them feel like they are in a dream. And in the attic where Su Yu had just rested, 2 pretty faces also peeked out. That is his personal maid, Xianxia, Xioha. The 2 women also looked at each other with bright eyes. My boxing skills, you should keep them confidential. Su Yu spoke up and ordered. All the maids nodded frequently like a chicken pecking at rice. They are almost all Su Yu's people, so naturally they have to obediently listen to him. Okay everyone, go to bed. Su Yu nodded. Then he turned back to look at the beautiful Xioha and Xianxia. The 2 women immediately welcomed Su Yu with a smile, one on the left and one on the right. Let's go. Tonight, young master, I'm happy. Let's have fun together. May I serve the young master? Xioha and Xianxia, the 2 women, blushed fiercely upon hearing this, and allowed Su Yu to carry them back. Clothes maidservants naturally need to stick. However, at this moment, suddenly, a scream shattered the peaceful night. PS seeks data, seeks evaluation tickets. Chapter 7. Blood Knife Reappearance, Slaughtering Jiangzhou, Eating Inside. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Late at night, within the city of Jiangzhou, a scream came out. Immediately, the dense and noisy footsteps on the street rumbled, shattering the tranquility of the night. Young master, it's not good. This is the Blood Knife sect slaughtering wealthy merchants again. It looks like it's in the direction of the Li family. The maids next to Su Yu were frightened and their pretty faces turned white, their eyes trembling as they looked into the distance. Tonight, it's not peaceful. And Su Yu glanced in the direction of the shouting of killing, then looked elsewhere with some confusion in his eyes. Governor of Jiangzhou, Ling Tusi is such a despicable person. How could he act so slowly? Every time the blood knives act recklessly, they come to procrastinate. He felt a little puzzled in his heart. Ling Gaisai is able to bury her daughter alive. She is ruthless and has a close relationship with the blood knife sect. Why hasn't she fought against the blood knife sect several times? As for the distant massacre of the Li family by the blood knife sect, he did not intervene to rescue them. The Li family is already finished, and the most important thing now is to take good care of his own home. You notify the guards outside to strengthen their guard and prevent the blood knife gate from breaking in. Su Yugang ordered. The gate of Su mansion outside was suddenly opened by someone. No, is it the evil thief from the blood sword sect who broke in? The maids next to Su Yu were almost frightened and fainted when they heard the sound of the door opening. It's not the evil thieves of the blood knife sect, it's Li Yuyan and the others who want to escape with their money. Stay quiet here and don't move around. Su Yu patted 2 moons as he spoke, causing Xue Xiao and Xiuhe to feel shy. But they also knew that it was time to obediently walk back into the attic. Young master, you must be careful. Our sisters are waiting for you to come back. You can do whatever you want. Upon hearing these words, Su Yu was immediately delighted. Don't worry, this young master must fight quickly and make a quick decision. Su Yu said as he leaped several feet and stepped on the eaves, then rose and fell a few times, running towards the main entrance. In front of the mansion gate. The door is wide open, with more than 20 painted black shadows in big and small bags, sneaking around and trying to escape. Big brother, we just ran away like this. The young master is alone with dozens of maids, how can we deal with the blood knife sect? The middle-aged man led by him couldn't help but turn back and curse upon hearing these words. What a special thing, the fierce gods and evil spirits of the Blood Blade sect are beyond our control. We have been eating the Su family's food and taking Su family's money in recent years, but we also deserve them. If anyone doesn't want to run, you can bring something back and see if the blood sword sect's knife is fast, or are you fast? Upon hearing Li Huyuan's words, the others fell silent for a moment and continued to run out with their heads down. This time, they carried a lot of gold and silver from the mansion in their package. They took advantage of the darkness to escape and left the city to pursue their own goals, which was the best. However, at this moment, suddenly, a white figure cut through the night sky and gracefully landed in front of them, blocking everyone's way. Everyone is eating our Su family's food and wearing our Su family's clothes. Now that the matter is approaching, we still have to take our Su family's property and leave. It's a bit disrespectful of me, Su Yu. With a cold voice, Su Yu appeared from the darkness, his eyes cold as he looked at Li and his companions. Master Su. Li and the others saw Su Yu appear, their hearts sank. Although Su Yu's martial arts skills are not high, his methods are extremely powerful in daily life. In recent years, he has also eliminated many opponents, leaving a deep impression on them. Let go of the gold, silver, and softness, and surrender yourself to the government. I can spare your life. Su Yu said quietly with his hands on his back. Now he possesses the strength of the 9 heavens after tomorrow, and even has the 3,000 paths of the Great Star technique at his disposal. He is not afraid to force them to jump over the wall. Upon hearing Su Yu's words, Li Huyuan and others felt heavy-hearted. Young master, you have been treating us well these years. We shouldn't have left at this time, but the brutality of the blood sword sect is beyond our defense. Are you forcing us to die? If you do something wrong, you always have to pay the price. Su Yu lightly flicked his finger. Since that's the case, then don't blame me for being ruthless. Li Huyuan showed a hint of ferocious hatred in his heart. Before he could finish speaking, he unsheathed his long sword in his hand and charged towards Su Yu step by step, with a snowy blade aimed at Su Yuli and slashed down. The guards in the rear couldn't help but close their eyes when they saw this scene. They could almost imagine the outcome of Su Yu being split in half. But the next moment, the terrifying blade struck 3 feet above Su Yu's head and could no longer penetrate. But it was gently gripped by Su Yu's 2 slender and pure white fingers, pausing in mid-air. This. Li Huyuan's forehead was sweating profusely, and his arm holding the knife began to tremble slightly. No one can better understand Su Yu's terror at this moment than him. The other party gently gripped the blade with 2 fingers, seemingly effortless and freehand, but he felt as if he was trapped by 2 ancient sacred mountains, unable to move at all. The power gap between the two cannot be counted. Young masters martial arts have reached this level. Li Huyuan roared in his heart almost falling to the bottom. Young master, spare your life, he pleaded for mercy. Humph. Su Yu's fingertips exerted a fierce force, directly shattering the long sword. Li Huyuan was also knocked back into the crowd by the tremendous force. Bang! 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 A series of collision sounds came, and Li Huyuan knocked down 7 or 8 people before lying on the ground. Su Yu took a step forward and was about to take action to clean up all of them when suddenly his gaze leapt over these people and looked at the pitch-black doorway behind them. There was pitch black and gloomy, as if it were a huge mouth that devoured everything, making people shudder. And now, a fierce and bloody aura erupted in an instant, making Li Huyuan and his team's scalp tingle. No, it's blood. Li Huyuan and his companions trembled and couldn't help but scream out loud. However, the next moment, a crimson blade burst out from the darkness, instantly covering them and extinguishing all the screams. Looking around, the ground was covered in blood and corpses. In an instant, all the guards in the courtyard were completely destroyed. Ha ha ha, on this trip of the Sa family, I was ordered by my ancestors to search for the Liancheng technique. Along the way, I destroyed 9 wealthy merchants, but none survived. I raped women and plundered money, it was so satisfying. With rough laughter, a burly yellow figure emerged from the darkness. That is a burly and tall man wearing a yellow monk's robe, with prominent blood knife patterns printed on the edge of the robe, bald, holding a blood knife, and a rugged appearance. People from the blood knife sect. Su Yu looked at his attire and immediately knew that this was the person from the blood knife sect. PS Seeking Data. Chapter 8. Seize the blood knife classic and stay up late to practice. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Humph, I originally wanted to come here quietly, but I didn't expect to be discovered by you. But it's okay, I'll go kill you one by one. The evil monk of the blood sword sect looked at Su Yu with a fierce smile on his face, his eyes sharp as if he were looking at prey. I know my family information like the palm of my hand. Su Yu's eyes were cold. It is obvious that the people of the blood knife sect are very familiar with the guardianship and situation of his Su family. This is not something that can be found through occasional visits, there must be someone secretly providing them with information. Hee, like a flower girl's family, an amazing wealth, all belong to my precious elephant and the entire blood knife sect tonight. My ancestors will definitely treat me differently. As the precious elephant spoke, he flipped his blood knife in his hand. The crimson knife light shone brightly in the night, dazzling and dazzling. In this moment, Baoxiang's whole body was filled with an aura like a purgatory demon, intimidating people's hearts. The ordinary warrior is about to collapse in the face of his momentum at this moment. However, Su Yu remained unmoved by all of this. Still looking calmly at the precious elephant. Pretend to be a god and play tricks. Baoxiang furrowed his brows and let out a fierce roar. He instantly rushed to Su Yu's face at an astonishing speed, his blood knife tearing through the sky like red lightning and fiercely slashing at Su Yu's neck. What a sharp sword technique. Su Yu's gaze remained calm, and he easily captured the trajectory of Baoxiang's blood knife killing, before lightning striking. Yuanchen Xingguang fist. He let out a low roar, and a brilliant starlight burst out all over him, illuminating the pitch-black night sky. The precious elephant rushing over was almost blinded by the dazzling starlight in front of them. Suyu swung his fists, striking left and right together, like two shooting stars fiercely sandwiched against the blood knife in the hand of the precious elephant. Dang! Suyu's two fists combined and fiercely hit the blade, causing the blood knife to tremble and directly causing the tiger's mouth to drip blood. He then took more than 10 steps back in a row to stand firm. When Baoxiang raised his knife again, his pupils suddenly shrank and he exclaimed in surprise. My knife! His bloody knife was about to be completely shattered by a punch. The knife shattered and the person died. I'll send you on the road. Suyu's eyes were cold and he locked onto the precious elephant. He leaped up like a wandering dragon soaring into the sky, and instantly descended on the top of the elephant's head. Before the latter could react, he had already swung his legs like a whip and landed fiercely. Bang! The sound of human bones shattering was heard, and Baoxiang's entire head was kicked into the cavity by Suyu's leg, and the body fell backwards on the ground. After finishing all of this, Suyu slowly landed. He walked up to the corpse of Baoxiang and took out a yellow knife manual from its embrace. Upon opening it, it was indeed the blood knife technique. Not bad, the swordsmanship of this blood sword sect is fierce and fierce. It suddenly erupts, attacking and killing the opponent. I will go back and study it carefully. With my natural talent of extraordinary intelligence, I may be able to develop even more powerful swordsmanship. Suyu still vividly remembered the terrifying blow made by Baoxiang just now. Baoxiang is a figure of the 5 heavens after tomorrow. Although he could theoretically kill Li Huyan and his companions, he could never completely kill them with a single blow. With a powerful sword, like a demon in purgatory, the terror of this blood knife technique is evident. After finishing all of this, Suyu swaggered back to the Su mansion. This place is already 100 zhang away from the Su mansion. Li Huyan and his companions were all cut into pieces by Baoxiang's sword. Even if their mother came over, they couldn't recognize him. No one would have thought he was the one who did it. Return to Su Prefecture. Close the door. Su Yugang turned around. In the attics behind him, dozens of female relatives all poked out their small heads and looked at him nervously. Young master, have you come back? Their eyes were filled with excitement and joy. If I don't come back, then those who come will be from the blood knife sect. Suyu joked. Hear the 3 words blood knife sect. Everyone turned pale. Young master, did you just go out and kill the people of the blood sword sect? This is a secret, but I don't want to spread what happened tonight. Suyu warned. Well, young master, don't worry. We are all young master's people, and we will obediently listen to you. All the maids nodded desperately. And in the attic where Suyu resides, 2 pretty maids have already walked out side by side. It is Xiuhe and Xueshao. Young master, you just said you want to practice, but you haven't finished yet. As they spoke, Bei's teeth lightly bit her vermilion lips, shy and timid, very tempting. I really need to practice well tonight. Suyu was overjoyed when he heard this and hugged the 2 of them, walking inside. Early the next morning, Suyu woke up early. Snow Peony beside her, Xiuhe's face still filled with satisfaction, sleeping soundly. Practicing martial arts has indeed strengthened my body and health. It seems that I must work hard to improve my martial arts cultivation in the future. Suyu stretched his waist, feeling refreshed and full of energy, with both dragon and tiger spirits. Working hard all night did not make him feel tired, but instead opened up a new world. The benefits of practicing martial arts are too great. Someone, are breakfast ready? Suyu asked. Reply, young master, it's ready. It's your favorite xiaolongbao, rice stem porridge and other delicate dishes. Other waitresses came up to it immediately, and looked inside quietly while talking, their eyes full of envy. My young master has a wealth of wealth, a top-notch appearance, and a graceful demeanor. I don't know how many women want to break into it in the middle of the night. Okay, come on, I'm hungry. Suyu stretched lazily and looked at the gradually rising red sun in the sky, feeling very relaxed in his heart. Now he possesses the great star technique and the strength of the 9 heavens the day after tomorrow. Although not a top-notch powerhouse, there is also a way to reach the pinnacle. Soon, a maid came in with xiaolongbao, rice porridge and delicate dishes. Suyu took one xiaolongbao at a time, and soon swept away all the food. Young master has such a great appetite today. The women next to him were all stunned. Previously, Suyu's appetite was not much larger than theirs, and he was completely different from him now. Last night I had too much energy consumption and my body was a bit tired, so my appetite was good. Suyu said vaguely as he stuffed buns into his mouth. Shui Xiao, Xiuhe hasn't gotten up yet. Can the young master not be tired? Hearing Suyu's words, these maids were both envious and sour in their hearts. After eating all the food, he was satisfied and patted his stomach, taking a long breath of relief. Comfortable. The other maids immediately came over to tidy up the dishes. By the way, what's going on outside now? Suyu asked. The people from the Yamen came this morning. It is said that the Jiang family was completely wiped out last night, and it was very bloody. The governor was so angry that he was furious and cursed his subordinates with blood. And it is said that a wicked monk from the blood knife sect has also died, with his head kicked into his cavity. These maids looked at Suyu quietly as they spoke. The governor's subordinates took back the body of the evil monk and the scattered fragments on the ground. It is said that some people were scared unconscious on the spot. Okay, I got it. Suyu nodded and waved to signal them to step back. After everyone had left, he returned to the attic and continued to take out his white diary to write. Chapter 9. Zhu Yuyan, this is impossible, my. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Last night, I observed the stars and comprehended the great star technique. Using the stars as a guide, I forged myself, raised my hands and lifted my feet, and the vast stars followed me with great force, and I also killed the precious elephant of the blood knife sect and snatched the blood knife classic. With my intelligence, I will definitely be able to create a set of shocking sword techniques that far exceed the blood knife classic. This feeling is really satisfying. In the world of martial arts is the top priority, and it's better to master the supreme martial arts than to master the vast wealth. In the end, force is the final word in the world. In this era of great struggle, there is always a risk of collapse. No one can expect to obtain my young master's property, except for inviting the moon, Lianxing, Rong, and others. The inviting moon, who has been chasing updates, has become tough again. Liancheng and Huang Rong have a blush on their face and are a bit shy. The other women were staring at the 4 words, Big Star Art, with their eyes lit up. Big Star Technique, raise your hand and lift your feet, the vast stars are powerful. If what he said is true, this person's talent are unparalleled in ancient and modern times. The same idea emerged in their minds. Yesterday I finished talking about Lianxing, inviting moon, and Rong. Who will we talk about next? Who could it be? The woman who was just shocked by Suyu's great star technique was now aroused with curiosity. They all opened their beautiful eyes, eager to know who Suyu would mention again. After all, inviting moon, Lianxing, and Huang Rong were all peerless beauties before. If they didn't make it to the list, wouldn't it look too bad? Really? Who's missing is embarrassing. There are too many strange women in the martial arts world, different from inviting the moon to be cold, loving the stars to be tranquil, and Huang Rong to be beautiful. There are also strange women with strange and ghostly temperament, like night elves, making people yearn for them. For example, in the realm of magic, there is a woman who is the most talented figure in the current magic sect, renowned for her power in both the righteous and evil realms, and is a leader in the current magic sect Gui sect. A stunning beauty dressed in purple palace attire, with a slender and seductive figure, was lazily lying on a jade throne, looking at the blue diary in her hand with a smile on her face. "You're a kid, you have some taste." Ho Zhu Yuyan's mouth slightly curled up with a proud smile. But the next moment, her smile froze on her face. She is. In the distance, inside another palace. Why is it related to me? A stunning young girl with snow-white bare feet, a slender figure, and a white dress was lying horizontally on a jade couch quietly eating melons, only to eat directly on herself. It's not my master, it's me. Does this person even know me? Couldn't help but look stunned when he saw the mention of himself in the diary. The guy which with superb martial arts skills, not only is she young and has a stunning appearance, but she is also the strongest descendant of the Yin Gui sect in history, competing fiercely with Feilu, the descendant of the Jiangzhou. Unfortunately, many people admire Feilu and underestimate Xiao, but I thought Xiao was even more superior to Feilu after all. She was the first to train the heavenly demon's secret to the 18th level of the vast and ancient world, and the first person in the history of the Yin Gui sect. In the future, Xiao will cultivate the heavenly demon's secret to the 18th level, becoming the first person in my Yin Gui sect. Zhu Yuyan stood up with a burst of excitement, as her previous dissatisfaction with Su Yu was dispelled, replaced by a surge of excitement in her heart. The 18th level of the heavenly demon's secret is a realm that neither my master nor my ancestors have been able to reach. Surprisingly, I will practice the heavenly demon's secret to this level in the future and become the first person of the Yin Gui sect. Clenched the blue diary in her hand, her beautiful eyes filled with shock. Although she was also very confident in her talents, she never expected herself to be so powerful. Immediately, her heart was filled with joy. So, my life will definitely be a smooth journey in the future. I will spend a lot of time with the Yin Gui sect, become the first person in the demon sect, and even control the great Sui dynasty. This kind of life is what I want. Su clenched her hand tightly, her eyes filled with boundless passion. Unfortunately, there are gains and losses in this world, but the cost of all of this is incredibly heavy. From now on, your life will be full of tragedy. What does this mean? Zhu Yuyan and his master and disciple were both stunned. Why is it said that the Yin Gui sect, the first person in history to cultivate the heavenly demon's secret to the 18th level, is tragic in the end? In this lifetime, I have been burdened by the Yin and Gui sect, living alone. In the end, I became depressed and died without any illness. I always have unparalleled martial arts skills, and it is difficult to reverse my past. I can only regret for a lifetime. Such desolation is pitiful and lamentable. I ended up feeling depressed and unhappy, and ended up with nothing. The pretty face turned pale, a little incredulous, as I ended up feeling so desolate. Why is it like this? As the master of a woman, haven't I saved her? Zhu Yuyan's fingers turned white as she squeezed them. It's all up to her master, Yin Empress Zhu Yuyan. Blame me. Zhu Yuyan was startled and somewhat confused. Yin Empress Zhu Yuyan, the leader of the Yin Gui sect of the demon sect, has a deep scheming mind, ruthless methods, and extremely high martial arts talent. She is a lifelong enemy of Fan Qinghui from the Jiangzhou. She was determined to prosper the Yin Gui sect, but in the end, she used the heavenly demon disintegration technique to perish with her opponent during a decisive battle, and ultimately perished. It is precisely because of this that the great responsibility of the Yin Gui sect falls on me, and I can only angrily abandon everything and focus on promoting the Yin Gui sect. What, I actually died, and I also used the heavenly demon disintegration technique to die. Zhu Yuyan stood up vigorously. Who the hell could force me to die together? It's Fan Qinghui. No, it doesn't look like she. Who the hell is that? I died in battle, and the heavy responsibility of the Guangda Yin Gui sect fell on Xiao. In the end, although she broke through to the 18th level of the heavenly demon secret, she was depressed and died without any progress. This is not the ending I wanted. Zhu Yuyan clenched her hands tightly and her mood fluctuated violently. She cannot accept this ending. This is the ending of your master and disciple, one dying with a strong enemy, the other alone, depressed, and the end is bleak. What's the point even if we end up with a bright future and gain the world, unfulfilled wish, leaving behind a fragrant soul. Master died in battle, and my ending was also bleak. Although I had trained to the 18th level of the heavenly demon secret, I was also unhappy in the end. Why is this ending like this? Why did the heavens treat me like this? Yen Su clenched her hand tightly, her delicate body trembling. And Zhu Yuyan's face turned pale. She was both shocked by her own ending and heartbroken by it. But next, Su Yu's words made them feel relieved. But don't worry, with me around, tragedy won't happen again. Just wait for me to achieve great martial arts and sweep the world. Master disciple well PS seeks data. Chapter 10. Coloring Little Dragon Girl, Big. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Pooh, this person is so shameless. He even had an idea for me and even took a liking to my master. What kind of master-disciple? Well, it's too cunning. Saw this and couldn't help but spit lightly, replacing his originally pale face with blush. But soon a glimmer of hope rose in my heart. This Su Yu seems to have unparalleled talent, able to create various mysterious divine skills, and seems to know what will happen in the future. With his help, perhaps it can really change the fate of her and Zhu Yuyan. Just Su Yu, where the hell are you? The girl became more and more curious about Su Yu, and she couldn't wait to see him. Another place. Even though Zhu Yuyan had a wide range of knowledge, she was also stunned by Su Yu's words. Inviting the moon, Lianxing, Huang Rong is not enough yet. Now he has set his sights on me and Yan again. How dare Su Yu, the generation of Yin Empress of the demon sect, serve others with my disciples? How brave he is. I have never seen such a shameless person before. Zhu Yuyan's phoenix eyes were filled with evil spirits. Coveting the moon, still watching over her, there are also Invitation Moon, Lianxing, and Huang Rong queuing up ahead. This Su Yu is no longer an ordinary flower heart. Writing continues to appear in the diary. Zhu Yuyan, this pair of unparalleled enchantments from the demon sect is my favorite, but there are still many women in the martial arts world who are not inferior to them. For example, in the Zhongnan Mountain Ancient Tomb sect, Little Dragon Girl is an independent figure with a cold and cute personality, and a stunning appearance. In the Ancient Tomb sect, there is a girl in white lying on a white ribbon. No matter how thin the ribbon is, she still lies as stable as Mount Tai. At this moment, Xiaolongna was reading her blue diary with great interest, and ended up eating it all at once. I have been in the Ancient Tomb sect for 16 years and have never gone out before. He actually knows about my existence, and this person is too clever. Little Dragon Girl blinked in confusion. Calling Xiaolongnu is still too far-fetched, I'll call her Longer instead. Dragon. The Little Dragon Girl's delicate body trembled, and her 16-year skill was instantly defeated by these two words, almost falling off the white ribbon. Long Air's temperament is like a serene orchid in an empty valley, she doesn't eat worldly pleasures, and her whole body is like white paper. Unfortunately, her personality is too cold and reserved. Even when Sun Granny was killed by Chuanjian sect members later on, she didn't show too much sadness. She's just like a piece of white paper. If I dye her black, she's black. If I dye her gray, she's gray. If I dye her yellow, she might give me a child. I have decided to dye Long Hair first in the Ancient Tomb sect. Little Dragon Girl blinked in confusion when she finally saw it. Grandmother was killed by people from the Chuanjian sect. What else does it mean to give him a child just by dyeing him yellow? She doesn't understand. Grandma's son, why should a woman give a man a child when she's dyed yellow? She turned her head to look at Grandma's son, who was picking it up in the distance. Grandma's son's face turned red when she heard the words. Miss, what bad books have you read again? No, I'm just bored and idle, that's why I'm asking you. Miss, you are pure and beautiful. No man in this world is worthy of you, so you don't have to ask. Grandmother spoke up and advised. Grandma's son, don't worry, wise people don't fall in love. My goal in this life is martial arts, she said with righteous words. Well, that's good. Grandma's son finally let go of her worries. Xiaolongnu continues to read her diary. Originally, her temperament was cold and she didn't eat worldly pleasures. Unfortunately, her background was also bumpy. If I met her, I just wanted to say one thing to her. The stinky Taoist of the Qianxin sect is not a good person. Please make sure to kill them all when you meet her. Could it be that the stinky Taoist from the Qianxin sect killed my grandmother? In law and still wants to take action against me? Little dragon girl's eyes flickered, and a hint of coldness appeared on her face. As your future husband, don't leave the ancient tomb before I arrive, and don't let grandma's son leave the ancient tomb, my future husband. Little dragon's pretty face turned red. You're too promiscuous. She witnessed with her own eyes Suyu threatening to become a husband of several people. As for what's good outside the ancient tomb, whether you come or not, I won't leave the tomb. Little dragon girl secretly swore in her heart. Let's remember it here first. It's getting dark, I should go to bed too. The blue diary is frozen here, and there is no further text left. That's it, haven't read enough yet. Many women around the world reluctantly closed their diaries. They haven't really enjoyed watching it yet. After all, this diary is so exciting that it can reveal the events and future of many famous women in the martial arts world. And they now have a feeling that perhaps the owner of the diary, Suyu, will also mention them in the future. I don't know if I will also appear here in the future. Many people yearn for future information. Some people blinked their beautiful eyes and said, where will my future belong? Favorite rating of 9 points, intimacy score of 8, reward the host with 3 years of pure internal power in my mind. A mechanical sound of the system suddenly appeared. Subsequently, a powerful force fell into the body. Her whole aura instantly surged. Congenital quadruple raised his tender white hand, his gaze somewhat surprised and realizing the surge of strength in his body. This diary is so magical. Suyu, who regained his memory from reincarnation, really only needs to record the diary. People from other diary copies can receive various rewards based on their liking. Originally, Suyu's words were somewhat skeptical, but now he has 80% of them. But soon her beautiful eyes lit up, revealing a dangerous smile. If I could find him first and increase his liking for me, write about me and my master every day. She had a bold idea in her heart. Thinking of this, Zhuyu could no longer suppress her excitement and ran straight to Zhu Yuyan. PS seeks data, seeks evaluation tickets.